High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, at places like Machu Picchu and Sacsayhuamán, you will find ancient stone walls that just do not seem possible. They are built from enormous blocks of stone, some weighing dozens of tons, all fitted together so perfectly that you often cannot slip a piece of paper between them. The official story says it was all done with simple stone hammers and a whole lot of patience. But when you are standing in front of these walls, that can feel like an incomplete answer. What if the truth is even more incredible? What if the secret is not just hard work, but a lost ancient technology that could rewrite everything we thought we knew? The sheer scale of Inca stonework is staggering. At the fortress of Sacsayhuamán, overlooking the old capital of Cusco, you can find stones estimated to weigh well over 100 tons, with some estimates going as high as 125 tons. To put that into perspective, that is like 50 cars stacked into a single, perfectly cut block. These massive stones were somehow quarried, moved over miles of mountainous terrain, and then slotted into place like a three-dimensional puzzle. Precision and organization mattered. And remember, they did all of this without large animals for hauling, without using the wheel for transport, and without iron or steel tools. But it is not just about lifting big rocks. It is about the craftsmanship. The walls are famous for their polygonal style, where each stone can have a dozen or more angles, all cut to interlock flawlessly with the ones around it. It is a level of precision that left the Spanish conquistadors totally stunned, with some claiming their construction must have been the work of supernatural forces. And this was not just for show. It was genius. These walls are famously resistant to earthquakes. In a region with intense seismic activity, this design was a brilliant feat of engineering. There is a popular saying that during a tremor, the stones dance. They move and resettle perfectly back into place. This is a metaphorical description, but it captures how the walls absorb and dissipate seismic energy. While many colonial-era buildings built by the Spanish have crumbled over the centuries, the Inca foundations they were often built on remain standing. So how on earth did they do it? The conventional explanation tells a story of brute force and unbelievable patience. But looking at these walls, you cannot help but ask, are we missing a huge piece of the puzzle? So what's the official story? Well, mainstream archaeology tells us it wasn't magic. It was a stunning mix of methodical engineering, immense manpower, and a deep, practical knowledge of stone. The whole process started at the quarry. The Inca builders had a sophisticated, hands-on understanding of geology. They knew how to spot natural fracture lines in the bedrock and use them to their advantage. Instead of trying to hack a giant block out of solid rock, they likely used techniques like stone splitting. One plausible method involved drilling a line of holes, packing them with wooden wedges, and then soaking the wedges with water. As the wood expanded, it would create immense pressure, splitting the stone along the desired line. Once the rough block was free, the real work began. The main tools weren't metal, but other stones. Archaeologists have found many hammerstones at Inca sites, made from tough materials like quartzite and hematite. Masons would use these harder stones to painstakingly pound and peck at the block's surface, slowly chipping away tiny pieces to get the rough shape they wanted. You can still see tool marks consistent with this pecking technique on many unfinished stones today. The secret to that perfect, seamless fit came down to a meticulous process of trial and error. An unfinished block would be set in place and the masons would identify the points where it touched its neighbors. Then they would hoist it back up, grind down the high points with abrasives like sand and water, and set it back in place. They would repeat this process over and over and over again, placing, marking, removing, and grinding, until the fit was absolutely perfect. This is supported by stones found at sites like Ollantaytambo, which were clearly abandoned mid-process. Experimental archaeology has shown that while it is brutally time-consuming, it is plausible to achieve this level of precision with these methods. But is that the whole story? For some, the idea of shaping 100-ton blocks with what are essentially river stones does not quite add up. This has opened the door to some more controversial and speculative theories. One of the most fascinating ideas is that the Inca chemically softened the stone. This hypothesis, explored by researcher Helmut Tributsch, suggests they might have used a highly acidic substance to turn the surface of the stone into a workable, paste-like material. Tributsch proposes that a reddish, glittery mud mentioned in historical texts called Langkak Alpa could have been a slurry made from oxidized pyrite, which can create sulfuric acid. The idea is that this acidic mud would be applied to the stones, allowing them to be pressed together for a perfect fit before rehardening. While it is a compelling thought, this theory is highly speculative and not accepted by mainstream archaeologists, who have found no widespread evidence of chemical softening at the sites. Then there are theories that venture even further out, suggesting the stones were cast rather than carved. The geopolymer theory proposes that the Inca pulverized rock, mixed it with a binder, and poured it into molds like modern concrete. Proponents of this idea, especially for pre-Inca sites like Pumapunku, claim to have found microscopic anomalies and organic binders in the stone. However, detailed geological studies have overwhelmingly concluded that the blocks are carved from natural stone sourced from local quarries. The geopolymer hypothesis remains firmly outside the scientific consensus. Finally, there are the more sensational ideas: acoustic levitation, laser tools, or even a little help from extraterrestrials. These theories persist because they tap into that gut feeling that simple tools just are not enough. Legends of plants that can melt rock, or priests who move stones with sound, add to the mystique. But let us be clear, there is no archaeological or physical evidence to support any of these claims. They remain in the realm of myth and speculation, not science. So, how are the impossible walls of the Inca built? The most credible, evidence-based answer is a testament to human ingenuity, massive scale labor, and an absolute mastery of stone. The techniques of hammerstone pecking, scribing, and patient repetitive fitting are backed up by abandoned tools, unfinished quarry blocks, and modern experiments. This explanation does not need lost super technologies. It just needs us to appreciate the incredible skill and organizational power of the Inca civilization. The alternative theories are fascinating thought experiments that challenge us to keep asking questions. But for now, they remain unproven. The true wonder is not necessarily how it was physically possible, but how the Inca managed to organize and execute such a monumental task with such perfection across an entire empire. The silent, perfectly joined stones of Cusco and Machu Picchu are not proof of a forgotten high-tech past. They are a monument to the staggering heights that human focus, patience, and collective will can achieve. The real lost technology of the Inca might just be a level of craftsmanship that is almost as hard for us to comprehend today as it was for the conquistadors 5 centuries ago. What do you think is the most plausible explanation? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into ancient mysteries, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more explorations of our incredible past.